Can we establish quorum?
Chair Fawcett,
Yeah.
Vice Chair Bedard, here. Commissioner Crane,
Here.
Commissioner Carter,
Yes.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
all present.
Stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are there any public comments on items not on the agenda?
Yes, there is one. Alice Manzel, you'll have 30 minutes.
I'm just gonna bring a chair over. Feels so strange. Good evening. I've never spoken to the Library Commission before. I just feel that eyeball you all. I submitted by 2 p.m. today some written comments. Maybe some of you have seen them. My name is Alice Mansell. I also copied them to the Friends of Library, and I also tried to copy them to the Lolly group. I see Ms. Wheeler is here tonight, but I couldn't find an email address to them online anywhere. So hopefully they'll be in the packet so that the Lolly people can see them, because my comments do mention them. Introduce myself. I started working in downtown Los Altos in 4th grade in 1973, doing unpaid reception duty at a real estate company. I've been doing real estate and law for most of my career. And in my law practice, I got very involved with historic laws when I was representing clients in Palo Alto about 30 years ago. And I also do quite a lot with land use. I've also worked for the U.S. Army doing contract fraud, suspension, and debarment. So I'm very familiar with contract laws for many, including government things. So not on the agenda. In my written comments, I included quite a few paragraphs about things that you can read on your own at your leisure when you've got time and energy to read it, because a lot of it's complex stuff. But what it boils down to are 3 plans from the city of Los Altos. It's dog park plans and it's parking mitigation plans for having taken some of the parking for the main library. The Lacey Los Altos Youth Center are remodeling plans from January 2023, where ground has been broken. And the Emergency Ops Center, which includes all sorts of utility lines and that generator, its fuel tank, and its drainage shield, right over there at the Bugs Barn Station. The only one of these plans to date that has had any review from any commission or city council is the dog park. Both the Park, Rec, Arts, and Culture Commission and the City Council were directed by staff that they could not vote on the various parking mitigation options that affected your library spaces. They could just give input and it would be staff discretion. Now, I find that very troubling. I went to try to get these plans in the middle of June this year, and I was told they were copyrighted. I, as a citizen and resident of Los Altos, had no right to see them. I put on my lawyer hat and said, you've got to be kidding. A $4.5 million project for the Lacey remodel, and I can't see the plans, and I'm a resident of Los Altos. And then they let me look at them on the screen. I could not take a picture, could not get a copy, could just make sketches. Well, I submitted a public information request and I got them, and I'm now giving them to you in a link in my public comments with the Google Drive thing, and anybody with the link can see them as long as they're on there.
That's 30 minutes.
Anyway, I urge you to read it, and I'll be around for item number 4 and 5. Thank you.
Consent calendar. Are there any comments on the minutes of the May meeting? Oh, sorry, did we need to say anything more about the public comments? Okay, move on. Okay, all right. So, is there a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting?
I move to approve the minutes.
If I can move to second.
Chair Fawcett,
Aye. Yes.
Vice Chair Bedard, Commissioner Crane,
Can I ask a question? I
Yes.
was absent, so should I abstain? Okay, I will abstain.
Commissioner Carter? Yes. Commissioner Morris?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Okay, moving on. Discussion of the night at the library event. Are there any comments, public comments here?
I do not have any public comments.
Any clarifying questions before I give the report? Or do I give the report first? Well, I guess I give the report now. All right. Let's see. Carol and I, who were the ad hoc subcommittee, met end of May with Rose to discuss ideas for the night at the library events to be organised by the commission. Rose felt that the events calendar is quite full for the fall and that we should postpone scheduling anything until the new year. And she also suggested that since the scope of what we can do with an event to be hosted at the library itself is quite limited, we can't serve alcohol and there's very limited options for serving food. She suggested it would be better if we just planned an event that piggybacks off a regularly scheduled library event. So the idea is that the commission could introduce the event, introduce ourselves, and help out with publicity. And we agreed to meet back in January to plan an event that will most likely highlight the new children's room. It was further suggested that we should think about planning a bigger joint event with the History Museum and the Bus Barn when the directorship of the History Museum has stabilised. Apparently, before COVID, there was a team working on planning on such an event. There was a team which included library staff planning such an event before COVID hit. And Rose suggested that when time is right, that we can assemble a new team, and that will include the Library Commission. And she said she would talk with her team about ideas for a joint event. Are there any questions? Or no, Carol, did I miss anything?
Well, yeah, the only thing that I would add to that is that the person who had spearheaded the idea of what was called a night of ideas originally was Vicky Reeder. And she would be someone to be involved in this again. She's prominent.
Okay, Rose, did you have anything to
Yeah,
add?
just wanted to add that Night of Ideas is something Vicky Reeder had found and I think participated in with San Francisco Public Library. They do it annually, and it's a very big event for them. And she was trying to bring that to Los Altos, on a smaller scale, but involve the library. And I was working with her and Dr. Ward on this event, as you mentioned, before COVID hit.
Okay, so that would be something we could look into.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else have any input, discussion?
I was simply gonna say that I am excited about being present for the new children's space and to be able to help do that. I think that would be a great use of our time to the extent we could. And then maybe we could look more into this San Francisco Night of Ideas.
So I guess the question is whether or not whether to keep the current ad hoc commission as is, or whether we expanded and create a new one a couple of months down the road.
I think that's up to the commission's discretion. Based on the timeline, it feels like you could continue with the ad hoc subcommittee to work through in preparation for the new year if this is going to be an event in early next year.
Well, I think the suggestion was that we would meet in the January to put it on the calendar. So I don't know how early it would be at that point.
Or you can work through that time as well.
Yeah.
In the new year.
Okay. So
So there's no action to be taken there, right? Right, Cindy. She's going around the other way. She's just over there, yes.
I have a comment.
Yes.
So I was thinking about this, not in terms of night, but I know the Vicky Reader thing, it's more of a cultural event where we bring in authors, things of that nature with the library. And even I was thinking I mean, we all walked in, they're getting ready for, the Friends sale tomorrow. You know, having events that are during the sale, that are tied to that, or just more joint, cooperation, and probably having a subcommittee, as long as we, can do it, to do that I'd be for that.
Tense. Come up with an event during the sale, is that so much of the Friends manpower is already busy running the sale.
I didn't, I wasn't dealing in reality. No, I mean,
The idea.
you know what I mean? Like, it'd be more of because we do bring in a lot of people in the sales, that you'd be surprised, well, you wouldn't be, but they bring in a lot of, God, I don't want to say the intelligentsia, but the kind of people who collect books.
Well, also now they've added an auction to the sale, it maybe could be combined with that, maybe.
Or you have an author where you auction off their books, right? Or put $1,000 bill in one of the books. Hilarity ensues. Anyway, but I think events are great, and anything to promote. There's just been a lot of good stuff.
I like the idea of promoting it with the new children's area. That'll be great.
Yeah. Okay, are we ready to move on? Next item on the agenda is discuss commission visibility. Are there any public comments? Item number 3. Okay, so do we have a report on this?
So there's no staff report. This was a future agenda item that was brought forward at the last meeting. And as such, it's kind of open-ended for the discussion on commission visibility in ways that or ideas that the commission may have for increasing commission visibility, I think was the main discussion point.
No, I'd still be interested in some sort of, I don't need my picture up on the wall, but some sort of, something in the library that reflects the fact that there is a commission and what we do, and maybe that could even generate interest in people becoming
That tied to this event,
commissioners.
this visibility thing, isn't that tied to the event of the night at the library?
I think it could be, but I think my thought was we could have a picture of us that talks about what we do,
In the paper?
or, well, paper would be interesting. I'm just thinking in the library. Because I walk into Cupertino and they have that for their commission. And I'm just wondering if it would get some people interested in perhaps serving.
Good idea, good idea.
I saw in another library too, where they had like lists of names of all the volunteers of the library and like took pictures of like events or, participation of the commission and with the photographs. So that could be something that, it doesn't have to be just us library commission, but adding, friends of the library and
Yeah.
I'm happy to send you a picture. I took a picture from another library. I thought it was cool. It's probably something similar to what you saw.
That'd be great. Maybe we could continue this on I'd like to see that. Yeah.
And, sorry. Signing emails, my text tones. We were just chatting about the idea of a picture, and I think that's something that we could explore, and potentially taking a picture maybe at the next commission meeting
Okay.
as a first step, having the picture, and then the discussion about what the display could look like. So if commissioners have seen ideas in other libraries, if you take a picture and you send it to me, I can start working on compiling that information all into one document that maybe comes forward at the next meeting with kind of a an action plan, if you will, of what we think could work.
Okay, that'd be great.
And since we're taking pictures, I was thinking if you are all comfortable, we'd be happy to put you on our social media, like meet, like we could have every week, meet our commissioners, and 1 week we'll feature Christine and Pierre, and it could be kind of a little bit about you, or how long you've been on the commission, or what you hope to achieve while being on the commission. So I'm happy to coordinate that. Once we have our pictures, it'll be easy to do.
That would be great.
Can we, I mean, could we go into the passport office and just get headshots? I mean, is that a way we could get our pictures done?
I could check and see.
If that doesn't work out, we can always, the city can always coordinate headshot. We can use an iPhone, we can coordinate the individual pictures at City Hall with me, that's totally.
That'd be great.
I mean, I've been wanting this agenda item on here forever just to get our pictures taken, to be honest with you, so I'm happy we're having this discussion. Only because I think Julie's point is really true. We need to be replaced. I mean, at some point, right? You need to have people interested in replacing us. So it's a good, anyway, so I like that.
You get turned out, huh?
Yeah, you do. But all good things end also. Right?
And maybe I'll work on creating a report, maybe you guys individually could send me, some ideas from other libraries, and then some of the ideas I'm hearing now, and if there's more ideas you guys have, I'm writing down, and I'll compile it all for our next meeting for like finalization on what that would look like.
Thank you for doing that.
Okay, so that was, I guess, a good conclusion on this item. Okay, so moving on, agenda item 4, received disbursement letter from Los Altos Library Endowment, and I know we do have public comment on that.
We do. It'll be 3 minutes, just as a note to everyone. It is an informational item only, so we can't discuss it, but it's just an informational item presented to the commission. So,
Also, I think it's agenda item 5, right?
4.
Is it 4? Oh,
Yeah.
Well, again, and hello, like I said, I've seen you from lolly things at the city council, so, hello. I'm the one who asked for this report. When I couldn't find this information online anywhere from City of Los Altos, City of Los Altos Hills, the county libraries authorities, or this commission, I went and asked the county library authorities, where is this data? Because it is required under the contract that ended the big legal dispute about Virginia Ginny Whipple's estate. That was, I understand it's been a lion's share of the donations that Lolly's received over the years. And I did this simply because I'd never really heard of Lolly before, even though I've worked and lived in this town for decades, until last November. And then I started digging into it and being a lawyer. I think, okay, well, what is this Lolly thing? Where do they get their money? What is it all about? And when I found that they were required to give these annual reports to all these various entities like the City of Los Altos Hills, and the County Library, I wanted to see the data. Particularly because I was curious, because the tax reports are online, but they're not up to date because they're not required to be up to date online about their disbursements. And in particular, I was curious to know how much Lolly had spent for that architectural plan to put a courtyard into the historic orchard. What kind of a deal did they get on that architect? Because the historic laws for the state of California were not followed by that, because there was, well, you can read my written public comment that I submitted at 2 p.m. today. But I have the highest regard for Lolly, and I totally understand why it was set up, just as why the Friends of the Library was set up. Because there are things that nonprofits can do that city employees and city appointed commissioners can't do and can't say. So I had to, so it was a friendly request for the information. You're welcome. And if you'd like to have your picture taken right now, I can take it.
Need planning.
I will send it to somebody on the commission. And if you don't like it, you can burn it.
Or we need notice. period.
We need notice.
Well, everybody needs notice about everything. That's right and proper. Don't worry, I shoot for publication a lot, including for the museum. And I never put out a photo anywhere publicly of somebody unless they personally approved it. Because everybody has different reviews. So, moving on. Item 5, staff reports, update on the RFP for design services for the Los Altos Main Library improvement. Public comments, I believe we have, item 5. Item 5. Yes. So now you probably know I'm concerned with the laws of the historic orchard. So my concern on this is I understand that this RFP is strictly for interior work of the main library. And I understand, because I've been looking at a lot of your old meetings and reports, and including watching your video presentation to council earlier this year, but this has been a process going on for more than 1 decade. So I don't want to see this thing derailed. I'd like to see this thing be as efficient and as smooth and as fast as possible. But I don't see how this RFP can just be about interior only without also dealing with the exterior fact that Lolly has this $2 million offer on the table to do a courtyard, or maybe even 2 courtyards, one big, one small. I don't know. It's up to you all to decide. But the point is, I hope that this RFP will include coordination in writing with the Lolly folks for any thing happening, because I think that's the efficient thing to do. It's like, where do you put a door on your interior that's going to go to the exterior? And until you also sorted out all the historic survey issues with the orchard, how do you know where you can go outside and, you know, not have some horrible legal challenge like the tolling agreement that was put in place? Because that Thanksgiving time Lolly first courtyard plan ran into a buzzsaw of opposition. Not me, I wasn't involved in that one. It resulted in a tolling agreement that said to City Hall, do better on your historic and environmental reviews. They gummed everything up till at least May of this year. And I don't want to see that happen again. That's why I came here to speak for the first time to the commission. And good luck with your deliberations tonight. Thank you. Thank you. Is there a staff report?
There's a report in your packet. It kind of goes through the history of the RFP, but you guys are very familiar with it, so I don't need to go into too much detail. I just wanted to provide a written report notifying you all that as I notified you all by email, the RFP has been issued and it will close on Thursday, August 22nd at 3 p.m. After it closes, the review committee will review the proposals and potentially conduct interviews. And then we will work to identify a final contractor, which will then go through the appropriate approvals. This RFP is for the design services for the interior remodel. And one of the big components of the RFP is identifying existing conditions and obviously identifying all the other factors that would be at play. So the instructions within the RFP allow the consultant, which is the architect or engineer, to really evaluate the full scope of what the library is going to look like in the future and how to truly create the best library possible with all of the conditions at play. So just rest assured that we are doing our best to try and identify someone that can provide those services. And we have been getting questions, and it's very exciting that hopefully around the time that we next meet, we'll be able to have more conversations about what that looks like moving forward.
And our next meeting and I realize the process is, needs to be somewhat confidential, but can we get some high level data about maybe the interest if we, and I'm making this up, we have 5, people who've expressed interest in the project and just the timeline and that sort of thing, just very high level detail.
I can tell you high level that there is interest in this project, and I've received or there's been questions received through the project website, so I do know that there are people interested. And a few people have called and emailed saying they had technical questions about trying to access documents or different things like that. So it is making the rounds and people are aware that it's up. And as with all of our RFPs, when we post it, it does go out to our listserv of all of architects, engineers who sign up, which if you know anyone who's an architect and engineer, if there's an opportunity to sign up for a listserv for RFPs going out, most of them are on it. So that is out there for all of them to look at.
Are there any, commissioners, do you have any questions?
My only question was gonna be how many people have you heard from, but you know, I don't need to know that. I know it's at least two. And that's all it takes to have competition, so. And I know it's two because I didn't respond to them.
And that's a good point. If individuals do receive any emails about the RFP, please just forward it on to me. You do not need to respond. I'll respond on your behalf, on behalf of the city. So please just forward it to me and I'll be able to respond. The only other, since this is staff reports for staff, for city staff, I did want to present that next month, the first week of September, I will be on vacation. I know, I'm so sorry. So I am gonna send out a poll potentially to the commission if you guys are open to moving our regular meeting to a special meeting on another day, so I can be present. If not, I can send someone to my place. They just might not have as much information about some of the projects that we're working on.
When are you, wanting to reschedule the meeting for?
I wanted to check with everyone and send out, but I was thinking the second Thursday in September. So instead of, I think it's the 5th, looking at the 12th of September. So I'll send out a poll and I'll try and get feedback, but I just wanted to let you guys know now because I know it's a month, but you may have plans. And so I wanted to get that on everyone's calendar now. If possible.
And should we clarify that, to my knowledge, that the review committee is not going to be, include any members of the commission?
Correct. The review committee will include city staff and then county library staff. And we've already coordinated with the county library staff as to who's going to be on that committee.
I think it's important to clarify.
Yes.
Are there any further comments?
And the library is, or and the county is committed. That's all I want. Excellent. It was a lot of fun doing it. And it's like, it's weird sort of letting go, but it's, you know, it's the mechanics of it. It is very interesting. I'm excited to see where it leads. And I want to thank Julie for working with me and keeping me straight, and making it a better document, much better document.
Thank you. It was fun.
Do we still have an ad hoc subcommittee on the RFP that needs to be disbanded?
We do have an ad hoc subcommittee. We can agendize a disbanding if that's something the commission would like. It's up to your discretion. I can add it to the September agenda if you'd like. And then you can evaluate potential other ad hoc subcommittees to explore if you'd like.
Was there and so just for clarification, was there an interest in Pierre and I talking to whomever the finalist is, just to give them some of the background that we have, or no?
I think it could be beneficial if we had that. It's up to, I think, the commission if you think there might be value in the ad hoc subcommittee meeting with. There's also individual commissioners can also meet with a consultant. So we don't necessarily need the ad hoc subcommittee to be the body, but it's up to you guys.
I don't want to, I mean, since you're asking me for my opinion, I don't even want to go close to it. It's very important, I think, to keep especially, I mean, you guys work in the public sector. For me, I'd rather, find other areas of interest to focus on than this. And you don't want to, you don't want to taint anything either way by talking to, you never talk the same way to the same person. At least I never do.
And I think if during potential future agenda items, if someone wants to propose disbanding of the main library improvements ad hoc subcommittee, and then it gets seconded and voted, I can put it on our next meeting agenda.
So, is that a conclusion for that item then, or any further discussion?
And I'm happy to answer any questions. And there's people, if anyone's watching, I'm always happy to answer any questions if anyone has anything. So please feel free to send them my way. That's it for me.
Okay, next item on the agenda. Receive report from the County Library District. Jennifer?
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Nice to see you, Jennifer Weaver, County Librarian. And shockingly, summer is coming to an end. So I hope all of you did your summer reading, and prizes pickup began yesterday, or today. So please get over there. They go very, very fast. We always love to engage all ages in summer reading. There's been wonderful events. I know Rose will give you an update, but just throughout the district, we have seen over 15,000 people sign up for the program. So it really is about talking about the value of reading throughout for all ages. We have a prize coming up for the young ones you might know in your life. So we very much partner with so many different kinds of organizations, and we have an opportunity for Kids Bop. So I think Anthony has a little one so there's a concert coming up in September. They reached out knowing that public libraries are places that families find lots of fun things. And so they have offered, you can put to the drawing to receive a 4-pack of tickets. So again, we're always looking for ways of promoting reading in fun ways. So we're super excited about that. And as we move into the school year, all of our libraries are in deep partnership with our school district. So we want to make sure that every single student has a library card and access to the many online as well as physical resources, so that it's always so shocking how August hits us so quickly, but we are very excited to continue to have so many different kinds, everything from online encyclopedias, language learning, and of course our homework help. So we have our online homework help that is offered for both English and Spanish speakers, and then our in-person homework help. Sorry, I'm making Anthony jump around. And this, we find having that one-on-one help is critical, right, for young learners. And it's also an opportunity for those people in the community. So we're looking for volunteers for both our homework help program, which is our K through 6. You only have to be available for 1 day per week. And then we also have, of course, our reading program and ESL tutoring. So if you're interested in helping an adult with their English language skills, we have lots of opportunities for volunteering there. Our ESL classes, our conversation classes will start again too, which is a much less formal way for new English speakers to kind of get to know one another and use language. So that's really exciting. Here in Los Altos, I will give kudos to the wonderful work that you commissioners have done that have advanced a lot of services. So thanks to Commissioner Petard and Commissioner Crane. If you remember open access, right, which was very much a beginning point at Woodland, we've now expanded that to Gilroy Library in South County. So we appreciate the opportunity to pilot things and work within your commission and your community, and we're excited to have that opened in Gilroy. Additionally, they've opened their passport facility. So for those of you who aren't familiar with a lot of county government, they've actually moved services for county out of downtown San Jose, out through to Tasman, which is essentially like the stadium. And what they found, of course, is nice new space, but not a lot of convenience for many of our South County and possibly even new residents. And so we have become the main passport acceptance for the county, and that is offered, of course, here in Los Altos. saw Dennis as I walked in. He'd probably take your picture, Pierre, I think. Milpitas, and Cupertino, and we're thrilled to be adding Gilroy as well. So that is just a couple of highlights to put a point on. Again, thank you for your work on this, and the county is committed to always iterating our services and spaces to best serve your needs, and the upcoming projects are certainly a commitment from all of you, and we fully support in making sure that we're doing the best to serve your residents with wonderful library services and spaces. That's my report. I'm happy to take any questions.
No questions, just a comment that open access, just to see it flourishing in other, excuse me, in other libraries is really gratifying.
Are there any further comments or questions?
So if we have open access for Woodland, it works in Gilroy.
So Gilroy actually has a physical lobby in their building. Have you been to their building?
I'm just
So,
asking, like, is it a?
oh, you mean
Yeah, like,
walk
is it-
down? You know what, you, sir, ask me questions, I'm writing it down.
I'm going to Harrisburg.
And you're gonna stop in, I'm gonna find out for you. I have a feeling
It's through your
It-
library card.
it's
so
through your
Library
card,
card should-
so I'm going to tentatively say yes and follow up with a secure yes.
I don't, it really
Yeah.
10 to 1.
Honestly, I'm just wondering, it doesn't really matter.
That's a good question.
It is a good question, because it is a little different, to your point. The services available in each area is a little different. So for instance, they don't have computer services in that lobby area. It's mostly material pickup, but, okay, thank you. Thank you for the question. I'll find out.
Any further comments, questions for Jennifer? Okay, well, moving on, receive report from main library staff. Over to Rose.
Good evening, everyone. So just want to start off with highlighting our children's programs, as Jennifer had mentioned. We had a very busy summer for summer reading. It's not over yet. On August 10th, we have our big Happy Birds program. So if you remember the photo, I would say that went viral in our reports where the people were standing outside looking in, that was Happy Birds. So this year we booked them 3 shows back to back. And thanks to the Friends for paying for those programs. So we're prepared so that everyone who comes can watch the Happy Birds. But these are our other August programs that happen. It's just a highlight. We have several more for children's, for adult and teen. Next slide. A few more. We have our Sunday Craft Afternoon. I always highlight that one. It's a very popular one, August 18th. Happier Aging Workshop, a Writing Family History with AI workshop. So just some very unique events. Hope you could attend one or several. Next slide, our gate count is continuing to go up. And you'll see year to year in June, it went up 14.2% at Los Altos and 20.6% at Woodland. So we're definitely getting busier at the library. Other statistics, items checked out went up 4.8% at Los Altos, 9.3% at Woodland. Items checked in, 4% increase Los Altos and 9% increase at Woodland. I know Jennifer talked about Open Plus. Thank you, commissioners, but I also want to thank Lolly for funding Open Plus as well for Woodland. So we have a total of 488 people signed up for Open Plus so far. Well, this was as of June, so more now, I'm sure, but people seem to be enjoying it. We've had very positive experiences, and people, I get nothing but positive comments from people who have participated in it. Next one, highlight our GGV visits. It's been a busy summer. We're at the Los Altos Hills Picnic, at the Avant Center Chinese School. We go monthly. Our children's staff have partnered with the summer schools, so they've been taking the GGV out to the summer schools. And of course, we're at the Apricot STEM Fair, which was a very busy,
Excuse me, Rose, what are the numbers
What is it?
The numbers for each one, what are they?
Those are the number of people that interacted with the
Oh.
staff.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's, so the STEM fair is very busy. The
Have
next,
you guys ever, the Art and Wine Festival?
we've gone before, we didn't go this year, yeah.
Rose, I'm so happy to see that it made it to the picnic, so are we not having any more difficulty getting up hills with?
So it's tricky. I have to thank the staff, that they have found ways to maneuver it. Yes,
What's that,
so.
hallways or
Yeah,
whatever that?
The staff are very creative and they were able to make it work, yeah, safely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so some photos from some of our programs. This was a cool one, a book jewelry program, which the staff want to repeat again. I thought it was a really good idea. This was charcoal art with Drawn to Art. It was just a full house. This one, the next one is Furry Friends. These are therapy dogs, and we work with a organization, and they bring their dogs for children to practice reading with. And, you know, it's also rewarding. You'll see some families who don't have pets. They might not have grown up here, you know, culturally just haven't grown up with pets. And this is really a good opportunity for the kids. I've seen kids who are reluctant, but you know, get warmed up with animals. So it's rewarding in many different ways. So we've been working with them for a while. And this last one is our book bag decoration. This is the annual program we have that is become a tradition and people look forward to it. So something, just want to share some of the examples that were created. And I wanted to finally share a compliment. This was for our children's book club, Camp Reads More. My son went nervous, came out excited for the next session. I really appreciate your effort in engaging kids of similar ages during the summer. That's all I have.
Thank you. Yeah, questions? Yeah.
So the poetry book club or the poetry club is meeting where? Do you know?
I can look. I don't
It's in
know.
Pod- Okay, I'm just gonna bring it up. It's in Pod D.
Okay. Well, thank you.
That's all. It's in Pods.
So you knew the answer.
I knew the answer. Of course I knew the answer. But what I wanted to bring out is the pods are being used a lot. And including for events where in the past they would take up the orchard room. So I just wanted to point that out to the commission that the pods are good.
Biggest pod is 12 capacity, is it?
8
8, okay, so small event.
small events,
Yeah.
poetry.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments, before we move on?
I want to add one more thing. So I want to thank Michelle for the last, the report she had submitted about the headphones, the noise canceling headphones. So we have moved forward and purchased them, and now we are working on the marketing for it. So thank you, and we look forward to implementing that.
Thank you, I'm so excited.
Okay, we're moving on to commissioner reports. If I could start, I had the report, the Lally report. And well, we've already had public comment on the Lally, so I should just, we're going to take more public comment, right? Okay. New director candidate was introduced to the board, Tiffany Chu. She has children in Los Altos schools and currently works part-time for a small nonprofit. She is adept at working with social media platforms. By unanimous vote, Tiffany was invited to join the Lally board and accepted the offer. Item number 2, Lally voted to amend its bylaws. Item number 3, a brief summary of progress to date on the courtyard was provided at the last Lally meeting. City has requested a great deal more detail than is usual in design development phase documentation. However, providing it now will not set the project back. All of the engineering subcontractors, civil, electrical, and structural, have been hired and should have their documentation ready in approximately 3 weeks for our landscape architect to incorporate into their plans. Raleigh has been required to hire a utilities locator through our landscape architect and pay to locate all the underground utilities and sewer, because the city cannot guarantee the accuracy of their maps. Water and gas may be switched. All of the audio-visual equipment has been selected by the County Library District IT Department in collaboration with Rose. Public hearing at the Planning Commission is still expected to take place in February, with construction still scheduled to start in May 2025. Questions? Actually, I had one. Lally voted to amend its bylaws. Were those amendments of any interest?
Oh, they will go into effect, well, they went into effect as of last meeting. They're really just cleaning them up, making things a little more effective, and particularly, for example, electronic voting. There's a lot of things that just weren't contemplated when those bylaws were originally written in 2001, when Lally was born. So we had our attorney take a look at them, provide suggestions, and then each of the committees who are mostly affected, finance, et cetera, weighed in with changes they'd like to see. Those are finished now. Thank you.
Other questions? Questions about the courtyard? Phil's got his mouth open.
What's the
He wants to
question?
say something.
I mean,
Have any
what is the
questions?
question? We haven't seen a plan. We'll see it when it goes to planning. That's the report. Is there anything different?
No, not really.
That's it.
They are definitely in the process of working on it. So it's not complete. But there's a lot of progress being made, a lot of progress being
It does sound like it. I'm curious that the city doesn't know where its utilities and sewer are.
I can't speak to this specific. I'm not involved in the project, so I don't.
I think we're moving along. Were there any other comments? Questions? We can move on then. Pierre, you have a report from Friends?
Yeah, the sale, of course, is going on tomorrow, so you guys can see all the setup. I hope to be here. I don't know that I'm working the sale. I've been hauling boxes. As of April, the Friends had 1.3 million in the bank. They voted on a new exec board. Janet Levine remains the president. Christine Fawcett's still doing membership.
Yes. I'm not on the board. Don't get jealous.
But it was, I don't know if you got the card from Friends, but it was pretty cool. It was a nicer form factor for Friends for the sale tomorrow.
We dropped the newsletter because no one wanted to do it. And actually, it saved us quite a lot of admin costs as well.
It was well done. What else?
And pretty much everyone here should have received one, even if you don't pay membership fees, you will get comp membership.
So the one big issue, and I know that you're gonna love hearing about parking, but I'm not gonna talk about dog park parking. I heard in the dog park discussion, and really, Anthony, it's a question for you, that they were looking at what's going on where the current Friends pickup is. Putting in parking places, not moving the trees, and that had become a sacrifice. If it is, please let us know, because I know the Friends would love to know.
I think the parking plan received comments from city council, and then staff is working on iterations that will adapt based upon the feedback received.
But it will put a big crimp on the Friends operations. I'm just saying, please, somebody in the city, look at it from the Friends ops. That's all. That's all I'm asking. I'm not saying change it or anything. I had heard wind of it and I sort of put the two together. Not that anything like that ever happens. Thank you.
We're talking about the donations area.
Yes. Yeah, those 3 trees that are by the small and the large.
That's where the
Sheds.
donations are.
That's where they're being done today, and they're gonna change, they're putting in parking into the donations area. But like when we do donations, we'd be able to come in and park or designate parking. Well, who knows?
Staff's working to identify what the constraints are depending on the needs for the specific spots, but we'll take into consideration the Friends, obviously. We know you're there, or we know Friends is there.
And I'm just gonna say it, I'm not gonna comment on it, but I have been, probably the top thing I hear from folks and is parking. And especially with the dog park coming in. It's not, I know it's decided it's there, but to say that I'm not hearing it would be, not right. That's it.
Thank you. Any more questions or comments? Okay, moving on. Do we have any other commission reports? You don't have I guess, Michelle, you've been filled in on the sense reading. NCLA, Julie, do you have a report on anything?
No, I don't.
NCLA will probably be meeting in September. They're waiting for the RFP to be completed and then we will schedule a meeting.
Moving on then. Potential future agenda items? Did I miss something before that? We
No.
covered all the commissioner reports.
Correct. The only one that staff has that was brought up was the disbanding of the ad hoc subcommittee.
Oh, okay, so potential future agenda items. Good. Okay,
Do you need a vote on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I move.
A second.
Chair Fawcett,
yes.
Vice Chair Bedard,
Yes.
Commissioner Crane,
Yes.
Commissioner Carter. This is a motion to disband the library improvements ad hoc subcommittee.
Voting. You to vote.
Okay,
You're
yeah,
taking a vote.
yes.
Commissioner
Yes.
Moore? The staff will put it on the next agenda.
So there were no other potential future agenda items, correct?
Should we be discussing what committee we would need maybe? Like, I know we had a list, right, of all the things that we wanted to do. Just to see if we need to have another committee.
You can
Review the city council, our work plan.
I can add review work plan to the next,
Would that be?
review work plan and determine next steps for ad hoc subcommittee potential. Potential ad hoc subcommittee. Commissioner Moore.
Do you get a jump start on next year?
Chair Fawcett,
Yes.
Vice Chair Bedard,
Yes.
Commissioner Crane,
Yeah.
Commissioner Carter,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore.
And another thing is, once I provide pictures and, if Julie provides pictures too, I love ideas of visibility, committee visibility, like, do we want to discuss it again?
I already, well.
Oh, you already have it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
It's a continuing item.
Okay, follow.
So it's not a new agenda.
But you know what? Potential marketing would be a good, in some general.
Yes. Subcommittee. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, that's a good point, because some of our terms are up. I mean, I guess we can reapply, but our terms are up in September of 2025. And so, I mean, that seems like a long time away, but we only have a handful of meetings, right? At least in 2025.
What staff can do is include that as a potential ad hoc subcommittee for the review work plan report. So I'll include marketing as a potential option, and you guys can discuss if that's something you'd like to pursue.
Meeting is, are we ready to, may I?
Not ready.
Make sure, you know.
Yeah,
Yes.
what are we supposed to do with this?
Read it.
I tried.